The warning. Captain Elena Reyes gazed through the vast observation window of Earth Defense Station horizon, her dark eyes reflecting distant stars as her fingers traced the silver captain's insignia on her charcoal uniform. The station hung in geosynchronous orbit above the Atlantic, a marvel of human engineering that most citizens believed was merely a research outpost. They were partially right. Captain, Lieutenant Maya Wong's voice broke the silence. Sensors have detected an unidentified vessel approaching from the Kuiper Belt. Configuration unknown. Definitely not one of ours. Elena turned, her expression calm despite the sudden acceleration of her pulse. Time to intercept. Approximately 17 minutes at current velocity. It's small, courier class, I guess. Definitely not a warship. Alert status yellow. Let's not jump to conclusions, but have defense systems on standby. Open a channel when they're in range. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, their training evident in every motion. Humanity had been waiting for this moment for decades. First contact with an advanced alien civilization. What the public didn't know was that Earth's governments had united under a single defense strategy after detecting encrypted transmissions from beyond Neptune nearly 15 years ago. When the alien vessel came into communication range, the main view screen flickered to life. The being that appeared had iridescent purple skin, 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and what seemed to be gill-like structures along its neck. It wore an elaborate outfit with symbols that shifted and changed as if alive. "I am Nextar, diplomatic envoy of the Vordian Collective," the alien announced, its voice translated through the station's advanced linguistics system. "I come with urgent information for Earth's leadership. Your world is in imminent danger." Elena stepped forward. "Captain Elena Reyes of Earth Defense Station Horizon. We welcome you, Envoy Nextar. What kind of danger are you referring to?" "The Krell Armada has set course for your system. They will arrive within 14 of your days with a conquest fleet. I have been authorized to offer evacuation assistance for your governing bodies and cultural preservation teams." The alien's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. There is no time to waste. Instead of panic, Elena merely nodded. "Thank you for this warning. We would like to invite you aboard our station to discuss this threat with our Defense Council." The alien hesitated, clearly surprised by her composure. "You do not seem alarmed, Captain. We take all potential threats seriously, Envoy. Will you accept our invitation?" 6 hours later, Nextar sat in the Earth Defense Council's secure chamber within the station, surrounded by 12 human representatives from various nations. Elena stood near the wall, watching as Admiral Hector Ortiz, head of Earth's Unified Defense Forces, entered the room. "Envoy Nextar," began Council Chairwoman Amara Okafor, her West African accent giving her words a musical quality despite the grave topic. "We appreciate your warning about the Krell Armada. Please tell us more about their capabilities." "The Krell are a warrior species that has conquered 23 planetary systems in the last century alone," Nextar explained. "Their ships are heavily armed with gravitational weaponry and neutron cannons. Their ground forces are ruthless and efficient. No world has ever successfully repelled a full Krell invasion." "And what does the Vordian Collective plan to do about this aggression?" asked Representative Zhang from the East Asian Alliance. The alien's gill-like structures fluttered, apparently a sign of discomfort. "The Collective maintains a position of armed neutrality with the Krell. Our treaty prevents direct military intervention, which is why I came to offer evacuation assistance. Perhaps 2,000 of your leaders and scientists could be relocated to—" "That won't be necessary," Admiral Ortiz interrupted calmly. "We detected the Krell fleet 8 months ago when they entered the Oort cloud. Our deep space monitoring stations intercepted their communications." Nextar's 4 eyes widened simultaneously. "Impossible. Krell transmissions are encrypted using quantum entanglement technology that should be centuries beyond your development level." Elena stepped forward. "We've had functional quantum computing for nearly 20 years, Envoy. Not as advanced as yours, perhaps, but sufficient for our needs." "But But if you know they're coming, why haven't you begun evacuations? The Krell will arrive with over 300 warships. 342, to be exact, Admiral Ortiz corrected, including their command carrier. Nextar looked around the room, visibly confused by the calm demeanor of the human leaders. You should be in a state of planetary panic. Most species collapse into chaos when they learn of a Krell invasion force. We're not most species, Alina replied simply. Chairwoman Okafor rose from her seat. Envoy Nextar, we would like to invite you to stay and observe our defense preparations. Perhaps the Vordian Collective might be interested in our approach to the Krell threat. What approach? What could you possibly do against the Krell? They have never been defeated. Nextar's voice had risen to something approaching a shout. Admiral Ortiz exchanged a glance with Chairwoman Okafor before answering. Then they've never faced humanity before. As Alina escorted the visibly agitated alien from the council chamber, Nextar kept shaking his head. This is madness. Complete and utter madness. Sometimes, Alina replied with the hint of a smile. Madness is exactly what's required when facing impossible odds. Over the next 3 days, Nextar followed Alina through various sections of Earth's defense network. The alien diplomat observed with increasing amazement as humans methodically prepared for what should have been an extinction-level event. They entered a vast underground facility beneath the Ural Mountains where thousands of engineers and technicians worked on equipment that Nextar couldn't identify. This is Operation Sunburst Headquarters, Alina explained. Admiral Ortiz is waiting to brief us. Admiral Ortiz stood before a holographic display of the solar system, nodding in greeting as they approach. Captain Rice, Envoy Nextar, you're just in time for the final tactical review. The room filled with military officers from every Earth nation as Ortiz began his presentation. The Krell will enter our system from this vector, he said, indicating a red line cutting across the holographic display. Based on their previous invasion patterns, they'll proceed directly to Earth, ignoring all other planetary bodies. Nextar nodded. Standard Krell procedure. They target the primary inhabited world first to break resistance quickly. Their predictability will be their downfall, Ortiz continued. We've positioned our defense fleet in these locations. Blue markers appeared throughout the solar system, many clustered behind Mars and Jupiter's moons. You plan to ambush them? Nextar asked. Yes, but timing is crucial. We'll allow them into the inner solar system. Here, Ortiz pointed to the area between Mars and Earth's orbit, before we spring the trap. Nextar's gill structures fluttered frantically. You're letting them get that close to your homeworld. This isn't just madness, it's suicide. A calculated risk, Ortiz corrected. We've studied their tactics extensively. The Krell follow the same invasion pattern for every world. They've become predictable. A holographic display zoomed in to show Earth's orbital space. We've deployed 2,000 defense platforms disguised as communication satellites and space debris, Ortiz explained. They'll provide our first line of defense. 2,000. Nextar gasped. The collective intelligence suggested you had fewer than 100 military satellites. We prefer to keep certain capabilities private, Alina said with a slight smile. A young woman in a lab coat approached Admiral Ortiz and handed him a tablet. The latest update from Dr. Patel, sir. The phase shift technology is ready for deployment. Ortiz nodded. Excellent. This is our ace, Envoy, a phase shift field designed to temporarily disable Krell technology. Impossible, Nextar said flatly. Their systems are shielded against all known forms of electronic warfare. All known forms, yes, Alina agreed. But we've developed something new based on the communications we intercepted. They proceeded to a massive laboratory where hundreds of scientists worked on strange devices glowing with blue-white energy. A woman with silver-streaked black hair looked up from a complex apparatus. Ah, Captain Reyes, she said, adjusting her glasses. Is this our alien visitor? Yes. Envoy Nextar, meet Dr. Sanjay Patel, lead scientist on Project Prometheus. Dr. Petal offered her hand, which Nextar hesitantly shook with one of his 4 upper limbs. Your phase shift technology, the alien said. How does it work? Dr. Petal smiled. It targets the specific quantum frequency their systems operate on. We can't block it completely, but we can create enough interference to temporarily disable their weapon systems and propulsion. For how long? About 15 minutes per deployment, but that should be enough time to cause significant damage. Nextar turned to Elena. 23 worlds have fallen to the Krell. What makes you think Earth will be different? Elena's face grew serious, her eyes reflecting the determination that seemed to permeate every human Nextar had encountered. Those 23 worlds weren't us. 4 days later, the alarm Nextar had been dreading finally sounded. The Krell fleet had accelerated unexpectedly and would reach Earth in less than 36 hours. In the main command center, Nextar watched as the red markers representing the Krell Armada moved steadily closer to Earth. Unlike the humans around him, who remained focused and calm, the alien diplomat felt mounting anxiety. How can your people remain so composed? He asked Elena as she prepared to depart for her command ship. Your entire civilization could end tomorrow. Elena paused, considering the question carefully. Fear doesn't help us survive, Nextar. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before, from nature, from ourselves. Each time, we've adapted and overcome. The Krell are just another challenge to overcome. But, besides, she added with a grim smile, we don't plan to give them the satisfaction of seeing us afraid. With that, Captain Elena Reyes departed for her ship, the EDF Dauntless, leaving Nextar to watch humanity's potential last stand alongside Admiral Ortiz in Earth's command center. As the alien watched the human preparations continue with methodical precision, he couldn't shake the feeling that the Krell might have finally met their match. And for the first time since arriving with his warning, Nextar felt something unexpected: hope. The battle for Earth. The command center of Earth Defense Headquarters pulsed with controlled energy as the holographic display tracked the Krell Armada's relentless approach. Admiral Ortiz stood with his hands clasped behind his back, his weathered face betraying no emotion as the enemy fleet crossed Neptune's orbit. Beside him, Nextar's normally iridescent purple skin had paled to a dull lavender. They'll be in range of your outer defenses within 6 hours, the alien diplomat observed, his 4 eyes blinking nervously. Ortiz nodded. All ships are in position. Operation Sunburst is ready to commence on my command. On the main view screen, Captain Elena Reyes appeared from the bridge of the EDF Dauntless. Admiral, First Fleet, is in position behind Mars. All systems green. Second Fleet reporting ready, sir, came another voice. Holding position in the Jupiter Shadow Zone. One by one, Earth's hidden defense forces confirmed their readiness. What had appeared to be a hopelessly outmatched planet now revealed its true preparations, a carefully orchestrated trap years in the making. Your species continues to surprise me, Nextar admitted. The Vordian collective believed Earth possessed perhaps 50 warships. How many do you actually have? Enough, Ortiz replied cryptically. 5 hours later, the proximity alert sounded. The Krell had entered the communication range. The main screen flickered, revealing a being that sent a shudder through even Nextar. A massive creature with gray-green armored skin, 4 yellow eyes, and mandibles that clicked menacingly as it spoke. I am War Commander Drakthar of the Krell Dominion, the alien announced, its translated voice deep and threatening. Your world is now claimed for the glory of the Dominion. Surrender immediately, and you may serve as vassals. Resist, and we will burn your cities to ash and salt your lands with your dead. Chairwoman Okafor stepped forward, her posture straight and dignified. War Commander, I am Chairwoman Amara Okafor of the United Earth Defense Council. We are a peaceful people who wish to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. Perhaps we can discuss terms that would benefit both our species. Nextar watched in confusion. Was Earth surrendering after all their preparations? But Admiral Ortiz's slight smile suggested something else entirely. On screen, War Commander Drak'Thar's mandibles clacked with amusement. There are no terms to discuss. You have 1 hour to begin your surrender process, or we attack. The screen went dark. The standard Krell ultimatum, Nextar said. They always offer mercy before attacking. It saves them resources when species capitulate without resistance. We're counting on them following their usual patterns, Ortiz replied. He activated his communication device. Captain Rice, Operation Sunburst is a go. Commence Phase 1. Aboard the Dauntless, Alina settled into her command chair. All hands to battle stations. Remember the plan. We need to make this look convincing. Our job is to engage briefly, then appear to retreat in disarray. The Krell must believe they've scattered our main defense force. Her weapons officer, Lieutenant Kazuo Tanaka, nodded. Weapons configured to cause visible damage without critical hits. Captain. First Fleet, advance to engagement coordinates, Alina ordered. Let's give them something to chase. From behind the red planet, 50 Earth vessels emerge, moving in tight formation toward the approaching Krell armada. To any observer, and especially to the Krell, it appeared to be humanity's primary defense force making a desperate stand. On the Krell command ship, War Commander Drak'Thar observed the approaching Earth vessels with contempt. Pathetic, he growled to his second-in-command. They send mere insects against our might. Send the forward ships to eliminate them. Don't waste our main weapons yet. The battle began exactly as Earth had planned. Alina's ships fired their weapons, causing minor but visible damage to several Krell vessels. The Krell responded with ferocious energy blasts, which the Earth ships evaded with practiced precision. After 15 minutes of exchange, Alina gave the signal to begin Phase 2. Execute scatter pattern Delta, she ordered. Her fleet broke formation, appearing to flee in panic. The Krell ships pursued eagerly, just as predicted. In Earth's command center, Nextar watched in apparent horror. Your ships are being routed. You must deploy your remaining forces now. Not yet. Admiral Ortiz said calmly. We need them to commit fully to the pursuit. As the Krell fleet pushed forward, they failed to notice the small stealth vessels moving silently among them. These tiny ships, barely larger than shuttles, carried specialized teams led by Dr. Patel. We're in position, she reported over the secure channel, beginning attachment of phase shift devices to target ships. The stealth vessels maneuvered carefully alongside the massive Krell warships, attaching small disc-shaped devices to their hulls. The Krell, focused on pursuing Alina's retreating forces, never detected them. 40% of targets tagged, Dr. Patel reported. Continuing mission. Alina led the Krell deeper into the solar system toward Mars. The red planet loomed ahead, and hidden behind it waited 200 more Earth ships. They're taking the bait, Alina told her crew. Once they pass the Mars orbit line, we spring the trap. War Commander Drak'Thar watched with satisfaction as the Earth ships flood before his fleet. These humans are no different from any other species we've conquered, he told his officers. Weak and cowardly when faced with superior force. He had no idea just how wrong he was. As the last Krell ship crossed the invisible line of Mars orbit, Alina gave the command everyone was waiting for. Execute Operation Sunburst Phase 3. Now. Dr. Patel, aboard her stealth vessel, activated the sequence on her tablet. All phase shift devices activated. Disruption waves spreading across the Krell fleet. Weapon systems suddenly went dark on the Krell ships. Emergency alarms blared as power fluctuations rippled through their systems. On the Krell command ship, War Commander Drak'Thar slammed his armored fist against his command console. What is happening? Report. His technology officer worked frantically at the controls. Unknown energy field disrupting our quantum systems. Weapons offline on 60% of our vessels. Communications degrading. Impossible. Drak'Thar roared. No pre-spaceflight species should possess such technology. At that moment, Alina gave her next command. All hidden forces, engage now. From behind Mars, from within the asteroid belt, and from positions near Earth's moon, hundreds of Earth ships suddenly appeared. They moved with perfect coordination, surrounding the confused Krell fleet. In Earth's command center, Nextar stood with his 4 arms limp at his sides. "You hid your main fleet in plain sight. The Krell scanners should have detected them." "Adaptive camouflage technology," Admiral Ortiz explained. "We've been developing it for decades, ever since we discovered we weren't alone in the universe." The large holographic display showed Earth forces quickly encircling the Krell ships. With many enemy weapons disabled, the battle immediately shifted in Earth's favor. "Focus fire on the vessels with operational weapons first," Elena directed her forces. "Disable engines on the command ships." The Dauntless led a wing of 20 ships directly toward the heart of the Krell formation. Their weapons fired in perfect synchronization, overwhelming the shields of a large Krell battleship. War Commander Drakthar watched in growing rage as his supposedly invincible invasion force found itself trapped and vulnerable. "This is not possible. Retreat to defensive formation. Focus all remaining weapons on their flagship." Several Krell ships turned their fire toward the Dauntless. Elena's ship shook as enemy blasts struck their shields. "Shields at 65%, reported Lieutenant Tanaka. "They're concentrating fire on us." Elena remained calm. "Evasive pattern Bravo. Continue pressing the attack." Dr. Patel's voice came through the communication system. "Captain, the phase shift effect will only last about 15 minutes. We're at minute 12 now." "Understood," Elena replied. "All ships, maximize damage while we have the advantage." Earth vessels swarmed through the Krell fleet like angry bees, firing precisely at engines, weapon systems, and command bridges. The Krell ships, many still unable to use their weapons, attempted to maneuver into a defensive formation. In Earth's command center, Nextar could hardly believe what he was seeing. "Your forces have already disabled 27 Krell vessels. No species has ever done more than minor damage to a Krell invasion fleet." Admiral Ortiz nodded slightly. "We're just getting started." War Commander Drakthar, seeing his advantage slipping away, made a desperate decision. "Direct all operational ships to focus on Earth itself. If we can't win this battle conventionally, we'll force their surrender by threatening their planet." A group of 50 Krell ships broke away from the main battle and accelerated toward Earth. Elena noticed immediately. "Dauntless to Earth Command. We have a group of hostiles heading directly for Earth. Request permission to pursue." Admiral Ortiz quickly assessed the situation. "Permission granted. Take your battle group and intercept. The orbital defense platforms will support you." "You still have more surprises?" Nextar asked. "Always," Ortiz replied. As the Krell ships approached Earth, thousands of what had appeared to be ordinary satellites and space debris suddenly activated, revealing powerful weapon systems that no one in the galactic community had suspected humans possessed. "Earth's defenses are engaging," Elena reported from the Dauntless as she led her battle group in pursuit. "Looks like they didn't expect that." On his command ship, War Commander Drakthar watched in disbelief as the supposedly primitive Earth defense system destroyed 12 of his ships in less than 2 minutes. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Our intelligence indicated minimal orbital defenses." Back at Earth Command, Nextar received an urgent message on his personal communication device. His already pale skin turned nearly white as he read it. "Problem, Envoy," Admiral Ortiz asked, noticing the aliens' distress. "The Vordian Collective Council has made an emergency decision," Nextar said quietly. "They are sending a diplomatic fleet to Earth." "To help us?" Ortiz asked, his voice steady. "No," Nextar admitted shamefully. "To establish formal relations. The Council believes any species that can stand against the Krell will be a valuable ally in the future." Ortiz smiled slightly. "Politics never changes, does it? Not even across the stars." Just then, Dr. Patel's voice came through on the command channel. "Earth Command. This is Patel. The phase shift disruption is wearing off. Krell systems will be back online in about 90 seconds. Acknowledged, Ortiz replied. All ships, prepare for renewed enemy fire. But Dr. Patel wasn't finished. Sir, I've been analyzing the data. I think we can trigger a cascade effect in their quantum systems if we target their command ship with a concentrated phase shift pulse. It could temporarily disable their entire fleet. Would that work? Next, Tar asked, surprised. Theoretically, Dr. Patel said, but it would require getting close to their command vessel, dangerously close. Alina's voice joined the conversation. We've engaged the Krell ships heading for Earth. We can hold them, but when their weapons come back online, we'll be outgunned. Admiral Ortiz made his decision quickly. Do it, Patel. Captain Reyes, can you create a diversion to draw attention away from Dr. Patel's approach? Aboard the Dauntless, Alina exchanged glances with her bridge crew. The mission would be extremely dangerous, but the alternative was unthinkable. We'll give you that diversion, she promised. All ships, Formation Omega, target the Krell command ship, maximum thrust. The Earth vessels formed a tight spearhead formation and accelerated directly toward the heart of the Krell fleet. The space around them lit up with weapons fire as both sides engaged in close combat. Dr. Patel's stealth vessel moved silently through the chaos, approaching the massive Krell command ship from below. In position, she reported, preparing to deploy the phase shift pulse. On the Dauntless, alerts blared as the ship took multiple hits. Shield strength down to 30%. Lieutenant Tanaka reported. Hull breaches on decks 3 and 4. Elena held tight to her command chair as the ship shook violently. Maintain position. We need to give Dr. Patel time to finish. Suddenly, the Krell ship's weapons surged back to full power as the initial phase shift effect wore off. The battle immediately intensified as Earth vessels began taking heavier damage. We're out of time, Admiral Ortiz said urgently. The Krell weapons are back online. Almost there, Dr. Patel replied, her voice tense. Just need another 30 seconds. Elena watched as 3 Earth ships were destroyed in quick succession. Her jaw tightened. All remaining ships, concentrate fire on the command vessel's forward section. We need to draw their attention. The Dauntless fired all its weapons at once, focusing on a single target. Other Earth ships followed suit, creating a devastating barrage that finally drew the attention of War Commander Drakthar. Destroy that human flagship, he ordered, his mandibles clicking with rage. Just as the Krell command ship turned its main weapons toward the Dauntless, Dr. Patel activated the phase shift pulse. A wave of blue-white energy erupted from her small vessel, enveloping the Krell command ship before spreading outward to the rest of the fleet. One by one, the Krell vessels went dark, their systems completely shut down by the cascading failure. The massive ships drifted helplessly in space, powerless and vulnerable. It worked. Dr. Patel's excited voice came through the comms. Total systems failure across 98% of the Krell fleet. In Earth's command center, Admiral Ortiz allowed himself a brief smile before issuing his final order. All ships, target engines, and weapons systems only. I want those vessels disabled, not destroyed. As Earth forces moved methodically through the disabled Krell fleet, securing vessel after vessel, Nextar turned to Admiral Ortiz in amazement. You could destroy them all, the alien said. Why show mercy? Ortiz's expression was solemn. Because that's what separates us from them. Envoy. We fight when we must, but we don't revel in destruction. 3 hours later, War Commander Drakthar stood in Earth's command center, his massive frame dwarfing the humans around him. His mandibles twitched with suppressed rage as he faced Chairwoman Okafor. The Krell Dominion does not surrender, he growled. We will return with a larger force. You could, Chairwoman Okafor agreed calmly, or we could establish diplomatic relations instead. Your choice, War Commander, but consider this. We share our phase shift technology with the Vortian Collective and several other species as a gesture of goodwill. Drakthar's yellow eyes narrowed. You bluff. Nextar stepped forward. She does not, War Commander. My people have already received the technical specifications. If the Krell attack Earth or any peaceful world again, you will face not just humanity, but a united galactic response. As the implications sank in, Drakthar's posture changed subtly. For the first time in recorded history, the Krell would need to negotiate rather than conquer. Later, as Elena's shuttle returned her to Earth, she found Nextar waiting in the landing bay. Captain Reyes, the alien diplomat said, extending all four of his arms in a gesture of deep respect. The Vordian collective wishes to formally establish an embassy on Earth, and I have requested to be appointed as the first ambassador. Elena smiled. I think that can be arranged, Ambassador Nextar. There is one question that still puzzles me, Nextar admitted as they walked toward the exit. How did your species develop such advanced technology without the galactic community noticing? Elena's smile turned enigmatic. We humans have a saying, Ambassador, necessity is the mother of invention. When we realized we weren't alone in the universe, we understood that not all our cosmic neighbors might be friendly. So we prepared, quietly and thoroughly. And the galaxy will never be the same, Nextar observed. No, Elena agreed, looking up at the stars now visible through the dome above them. I suppose it won't be. In the days that followed, as news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, dozens of alien species reached out to establish diplomatic relations with humanity. The species that had been dismissed as primitive newcomers had proven themselves to be formidable, ingenious, and perhaps most surprisingly, merciful. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as defenders. And the stars themselves seemed a little brighter for it.